Welcome to the San Luis Obispo County Department of Social Services. You are here to apply for food stamps and general assistance. We will be telling you about both programs. We will talk about your rights and responsibilities as clients and discuss the importance of keeping in touch with us and how to do that. The county needs information about you and your household to see if you are eligible for food stamps and general assistance, and to figure how much you will get if you are eligible. When the tape is over, your Employment Resource Specialist will answer any questions you have. As an applicant for general assistance, you must prove that you have been a resident of San Luis Obispo County for at least 15 days prior to the date of your application. You will have to prove this through reasonable means as defined by the county. You must complete and sign many forms. Remember, these are legal forms signed under the penalty of perjury, so be sure you understand them fully before you sign. If you are not sure, ask your Employment Resource Specialist. All of the information we request is needed to determine if you are eligible for food stamps and general assistance. If something cannot be completed or verified during your interview, you will be given a letter asking you to provide the missing information or verification by a certain date. Neither food stamps or general assistance can be approved until you have given us the things we have asked for. In fact, your application may be denied if you do not provide everything that is needed by the due date. Your Employment Resource Specialist will tell you the due date for each program. If you need more time or if you need help getting the things we have asked for, you must let your Employment Resource Specialist know before the due date. The following are the rights and responsibilities of someone applying for general assistance.
This is the rights and responsibilities for general assistance. We'll go over your reporting responsibilities, your understanding of your reporting responsibilities, your right to request a hearing, and employable persons. Agreement to report changes. You'll tell the Department of Social Services within 5 days of any changes in your household. Changes in income, including the source or the amount. Changes in employment status, for example, if you become employed or your employment ends. Changes in real property holdings, for example, land or buildings. Changes in your address or living arrangement. Changes in the number of persons living with you or with whom you live. Changes in personal possessions, cash or other personal property, such as bank accounts, jewelry, or cars. Changes in legal status, such as you or a member of your household being convicted of a drug felony for possession, use, or distribution of a controlled substance, avoiding or running from the law to avoid a felony prosecution, custody, or confinement after conviction, or in violation of probation or parole. Understanding of reporting responsibilities. You understand your reporting responsibilities and know all your statements on the application are subject to investigation and verification. That if you make false statements or intentionally withhold information, you may be guilty of fraud, for which you may be prosecuted under the law and or lose eligibility for general assistance payments. Right to request a hearing. You understand you have a right to request a hearing if you disagree with actions taken by this department, and you must apply for a hearing in person or in writing within 14 days after receipt of any notice. The address for requesting the hearing is the nearest Department of Social Services office. or you can mail the written request to Department of Social Services, P.O. Box 8119, San Luis Obispo, California, 93403-8119. At the hearing, you may be represented by an attorney. You may present evidence and cross-examine any witnesses giving evidence about the action on your case. When you request a hearing, it will be scheduled within 10 working days of the request date. Employable persons. If you're able to work, you will need to meet the following conditions. You must apply for unemployment insurance benefits, UIB, with the California Employment Development Department, EDD. You must be available for full-time employment and actively seeking and accept any available employment that you're capable of performing. You must actively seek employment and participate in the Work Search Job Club program at Creekside Center or Estrella Career Center in North County. You must obtain employment within 30 days of your application for general assistance. You must meet all other eligibility requirements. Failure to meet these conditions without good cause will result in the denial or discontinuance of general assistance, and the following penalty period will be imposed. The first failure to meet this condition, the county will impose a 30-day penalty period. The second failure to meet this condition, the county will impose a 90-day penalty period. The third failure to meet this condition, the county will impose a 180-day penalty period. This concludes the rights and responsibilities for general assistance.
The following are the rights and responsibilities of someone applying for food stamps. When you apply for food stamp benefits, you have rights and responsibilities. Your most important right is to be treated fairly, without regard to race, color, national origin, political beliefs, religion, gender, age, or disability. If you think you have been discriminated against, you may file a complaint by 1. Contacting your county civil rights coordinator. 2. By calling 916-654-2107 or 1-866-741-6241 toll free. 3. For the hearing or speech impaired, you may call 1-916-654-2098 or 4. In writing to the California Department of Social Services, Civil Rights Bureau, MS 15-70, P.O. Box 944243, Sacramento, California 94244-2430. These addresses and telephone numbers will be provided to you on your copy of these rights and responsibilities. Your rights. As a food stamp applicant or recipient, you have the right to get help filling out your application or any other food stamp form. You have the right to ask for translated forms and notices if you don't read English. You have the right to be treated with courtesy, consideration, and respect. You have the right to ask for oral interpretation of forms and notices if translated forms and notices are unavailable. You have the right to be interviewed promptly by the county when you apply and to have your eligibility determined within 30 days. You have the right to have the face-to-face interview waived if you are unable to appoint an authorized representative and no household member is able to go into the food stamp office because everyone is 65 years old or over or physically disabled and no one has earned income. You have the right to have the face-to-face interview waived if you have a hardship and cannot get to the food stamp office. You have the right to discuss your case with the county and to review your case yourself when you request to do so. You have the right to be told the rules for getting emergency food stamp benefits. If the county thinks you might be eligible, you will get an interview immediately and food stamp benefits within 3 days. You have the right to ask to have your food stamp ID, authorization document, or issuance card, or food stamp benefit replacement if lost in the mail, damaged, stolen, or destroyed. EBT food stamp benefits are not always replaced when the EBT card is not reported lost or stolen, or benefits are spent by the authorized representative. You have the right to get written notice when your application is approved, denied, or when your benefits change or stop. You have the right to have your records kept confidential by the county and state unless there is an outstanding felony arrest warrant issued for you or as otherwise provided by law. You have the right to file a complaint or to ask for a state hearing within 90 days of any action if you think the action was wrong. You can write to your county welfare department or call toll-free 1-800-952-5253, or for the hearing or speech impaired 1-800-952-8349. You have the right to be represented at a state hearing by yourself or by a household member, friend, attorney, or other person of your choice. You may get free legal help at your local legal aid office or welfare rights group. Your responsibilities. As a food stamp applicant or recipient, you are responsible for meeting the following requirements. Fingerprint and photo imaging. California has a rule that says that everyone who is required to be fingerprinted and photo imaged must have their photo and fingerprint image taken in order for your household to receive food stamp benefits. If someone in your household who is required to be photographed or fingerprint imaged refuses to do so, your household will not be able to get food stamp benefits. These images are confidential and can only be used to prevent or prosecute welfare fraud. Citizenship, immigration status. You must sign under penalty of perjury that each member applying for food stamp benefits is a U.S. citizen or U.S. national. If someone in your household is not a citizen, you will need to provide verification of his or her immigration status. Information you give us on immigration status will be checked with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, but it will only be used to determine food stamp eligibility. Information about immigration is private and confidential. You can apply for and get food stamp benefits for eligible family members even if your family includes other members who are not eligible because of immigration status. For example, immigrant parents may apply for food stamp benefits for their U.S. citizen or qualified immigrant children, even though the parents may not be eligible for benefits. You do not have to provide immigration information or documents for any family members who are not eligible for food stamp benefits and who are not asking for food stamp benefits. Getting food stamp benefits will not affect your immigration status or the immigration status of your family. Social Security number. You must provide the Social Security number for everyone in your household who is applying. Anyone who does not give a Social Security number or proof of application for a Social Security number will not be able to get food stamp benefits. The Social Security numbers will be used in a computer match to check your income and resources with records from tax, welfare, employment, the Social Security Administration, and other agencies. Social Security numbers will also be matched with law enforcement agencies. Differences may be checked out with employers, banks, and others. Verification. If your worker asks for proof of a fact, you must provide it or give us the name of some other person or agency we may contact to get it. When you can't get the proof you need, we must be able to help you get it. Reporting. Every food stamp household must report on their income and household situation. Most households have to report every quarter, but your worker will tell you whether you are a quarterly or change reporting or transitional household. Cooperation. You must cooperate with the county, state, and federal staff. You may not get benefits, or your benefits may be stopped if you do not cooperate. Penalties and disqualifications. Failing to follow the rules listed in this document can result in an intentional program violation. The penalties for an IPV are disqualification as listed below, and you can be fined up to $250,000 and/or put in jail or prison for up to 20 years. Disqualification means not being able to get food stamp benefits for a period of time. When you are disqualified, the penalties stop your food stamp benefits for 12 months for the first violation, 24 months for the second violation, and forever for the third violation. These penalties start after a state hearing or court of law finds that an individual committed an intentional program violation. In addition, there are separate penalties for other things you should not do. They are: if you are found guilty in a court of law of trading food coupons for controlled substances, food stamp benefits can be stopped for 24 months for the first violation and forever for the second violation. If you are found guilty in any court of law of trading food stamp benefits for firearms, ammunition, or explosives, food stamps can be stopped forever for the first violation. If you sell or trade food stamps worth $500 or more, food stamp benefits can be stopped forever. If you file more than one application at the same time and give false identification or residence information, food stamp benefits can be stopped for 10 years. Also, anyone who is accused of committing an intentional program violation may agree to be disqualified by signing either a disqualification consent agreement or an administrative disqualification hearing waiver. Anyone who signs one of these documents accepts responsibility to repay any overissuance. In addition, if you don't report all the facts or give wrong facts to get or keep getting benefits, you can be legally prosecuted with penalties of a fine and/or imprisonment. You may be found to have committed a felony if more than $400 is wrongly paid out in food stamp benefits because you didn't report all of your facts or changes in income, property, or family status. If your household receives food stamp benefits, you must follow these rules. Don't give wrong or incomplete facts to get or keep getting food stamp benefits. Don't trade or sell food stamps, food stamp authorization documents, or issuance cards. Don't alter food stamp authorization documents or issuance cards to get food stamp benefits you are not entitled to get. Don't use food stamp benefits to buy ineligible items such as alcoholic drinks or tobacco, paper, or cleaning products. Don't use someone else's food stamps or authorization documents or issuance cards for your household. Food stamp work rules. If you are between the ages of 16 and 60, you may need to meet food stamp work rules. You may be excused from meeting the work rules if you have health problems, care for a child under 6, or have other conditions that make it difficult to participate in work or training activities. Work rules say you must tell us about your work experience. Go to a job you are sent to. Take a suitable job and not quit a job or reduce your work to less than 30 hours a week. You must also have to do community service, look for work, or go to school or training if you don't meet these rules. Food stamps may be denied or stopped for 1, 3, or 6 months. Food stamp work rules for adults without children. If you are older than 17 and younger than 50, and you are not in a household with a minor child, you may also need to meet the work rule for adults without children. You do not have to meet this work rule if you are pregnant, live in a household with a minor child, have health problems, or have other conditions that make it difficult to participate in work, school, or training. You must meet the work rule by working or going to school or training for a total of 20 hours a week, or by participating in community service for the required number of hours. If you don't meet the work rule for 3 months during a 3-year period without a good reason, food stamps will stop. Food stamps will begin again if you meet the work rule for the required number of hours or if you are excused. If you stop meeting the work rule again for reasons such as layoff, you may receive food stamps for 3 months in a row without having to meet the rules. We will use Social Security numbers of anyone who receives general assistance, food stamps, cash aid, or Medi-Cal benefits to check income and resources. We will use a computer system to check your earnings, Social Security number, income, unemployment insurance benefits, disability insurance benefits, interest or dividends from bank accounts, stocks, bonds, or mutual funds. Other income such as pensions, SSI, cash aid payments. We may also check for tax refunds and lottery winnings. When the income or resources you tell us about are not the same as what we get from the computer system, we may ask you for more facts. Check with your bank, employer, or others. Use the facts to refigure your cash aid or other benefits. Remember, if you have any questions, ask your employment resource specialist. This concludes your rights and responsibilities for food stamps. Please wait here, and your employment resource specialist will be in to continue the interview.